The word communism comes from Latin communis, which means common or universal. Communism is an ideology that has the goal of creating a classless socioeconomic order centered on common ownership of the means of production, distribution, labor, and exchange that allocates products in society based on need. A communist society entails the absence of private property and social classes, and ultimately money and the state. There are many variants of communism. These ideologies share the analysis that the current order of society springs from the capitalist economic system. Communists believe that there are two primary social classes under capitalism, that the relationship between them is exploitative, and that conflict and exploitation can only be resolved through social revolution. The two classes under capitalism are the proletariat and bourgeoisie. The proletariat or working class, who make up most of the population, sell their labor power to survive. The bourgeoisie or owning class, who are a minority, derives profit from employing the proletariat through private ownership of the means of production. Communists work toward a revolution that would put the working class in power and establish common ownership of property. One of the first modern uses of the word communism was by Victor de Hupéry around 1785. He described himself as a communist author. In 1793 and following, Nicolas Restif de La Bretonne first used communism to describe a social order and form of government based on egalitarianism and the common ownership of property. John Goodwin Barmby is credited with the first use of communism in English around 1840. Communism in its modern form grew out of the socialist movement in 19th century Europe that argued capitalism caused the misery of urban factory workers. In 1848, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels offered a new definition of communism in the Communist Manifesto. By the 1920s, communism had become one of the two dominant types of socialism in the world, the other being social democracy. Since the time of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, a variety of developments have been made in communist theory in attempts to build a communist society, leading to a variety of different communist ideologies. These span philosophical, social, political, and economic ideologies and movements. It can be split into three broad categories: Marxist-based ideologies, Leninist-based ideologies, and non-Marxist ideologies, though influence between the different ideologies is usually found. For much of the 20th century, more than 1/3 of the world's population lived under communist governments. These were characterized by 1. Authoritarian one-party rule. 2. Rejection of private property and capitalism. 3. State control of economic activity and mass media. 4. Restrictions on freedom of religion. 5. Suppression of opposition. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, many governments abolished communist rule. Only a few nominally communist governments remain, such as China, Cuba, Laos, North Korea, and Vietnam. Except for North Korea, these have allowed more economic competition while maintaining one-party rule. Communism's decline has been attributed to economic inefficiency and bureaucratic authoritarianism.